In the bottom left-hand corner, the Red Protoss player here in the upper bracket semi-final. Won out his seed and group, has been waiting for opponents ever since. It's MaxPax. Takes on in the top right. This is going to be Dark. Alright, MaxPax, Dark, BVZ. Stun up. So, probably coming up to the top side, we do see already Dog going to drop down this gold base. We saw Dog against Hero. Dog attempting to make this gold base useful a little bit. And obviously try to all-in off of this. Now, obviously, MaxPax might have been watching that last series. He's not had another match to play or anything, so he's likely going to go in knowing what Dog did on this map previously. So that's got to be something in MaxPax's mind, but also in Dark's mind. You can't just assume that he didn't watch that previous series. There's too good of a chance that he did watch that previous series, right? As that probe comes around the back. And drop the cyber core down, get this started up. And we just have ourselves, again, the cyber core come through. Get this on the way. And again, a little bit of everything coming through for the first couple of moments here. So just getting things up and rolling for now. As you have our cyber core about halfway done. The next is coming in, the probe is producing. And again, just a couple more drones coming out as well. So a couple more dronies in production, a simulator coming by. Pylon coming through also. Probe still scouts around. Again, links be coming up, and a few links just on the way, so we get all set with that. Nothing too crazy initially beyond the fact that this is the gold base, so get this going, we get this started. And you have another gateway coming down as well. Lings already just nibbling at that set of rocks, so just opening up this space right here, so opening up a bit of position to move on through with. And obviously that is going to make life a lot easier when it comes to defending against the Adept. As you do see, 20 drones and just more lings on the way. Are we going to start building drones after this? If we don't, you've got to wonder just how aggressive Dark really wants to be. But drones do start up, so very much so is just these lings to deny the Adept and to stop those from being too problematic over the next few moments. A couple of Adepts do shade around. They catch another couple lings coming from the other side. So, again, getting some damage done. The Adepts definitely keeping themselves in a pretty good position so far. We do have our lings once again continuing over here. Just going to sit in this little gap and wait for their chance to show their prowess. Again, looking to just defend the Adepts for the most part right now. Doing that as best as possible. Windchild, thank you so much for the Fresh Prime subscription as well. Thank you so much for supporting today. As our Twilight and Robo facility continue through, a couple of additional Adepts continue up as well. We still see more lings on the way. The Rotron is coming by. The Twilight and Robo finishing, we'll see MaxPax moving into his tech choice. It's going to be Glaives. So there you have Glaives. It is obviously with no Stargate opening. He wants to try and play fairly aggressively here. I think this is just a case of, again, because of the gold base, you're going to play something a little bit more aggressive that can kind of pull the gold apart a bit. And as we saw, Hero kind of set up in the same way. He set up with the Twilight Council, but obviously Dark started to all-in him, so the Dark Shrine came down. It was a perfect defense. This is not an all-in. Drones are building still, and so we go into Glaives instead. So, yeah, going to be something fun. This is going to look very different to the rest of the series, I think that is for sure. As the extra gates come by, the Prism coming up with that Glaives, finishing very shortly as well. And again, the few Adepts just making their way around here. As we do see the extra gates coming online, the Adepts still coming through. And with 3 extra gates and the Glaives finishing shortly, this attack is about to be full power. There are going to be Roaches out, so Dark will have those defensively. Just got to be careful what fights you take. Obviously, don't go running into that whole group of Adepts. That would be very disastrous. That's absolutely something you want to avoid, no doubt at all. They're not far from finishing. Still seeing that Roach Ravager coming through. And again, just the creep spread coming about. Extra pylons going down as well. And these Adepts continue to just shade through for the moment, heading their way up to the top as the Adepts are going to fire up onto a couple more of these Roaches, so a bit more damage being dealt. A couple more drones going down once again. Just going to see even more of these Adepts warping in. So MaxPax, though, has to actually unsiege the prison because of the Corrosive Biles, so that is going to push him back on his warp in. Now 6 gates of Adepts failing to do damage. Obviously pretty damning for MaxPax if he can't break through here. He is going to have the Immortals on the follow, but he's also adding probes and a gas, so I think he is readying and accepting that this has maybe not worked out as well as he would have needed it to at first, although it's not done yet. I mean, he is going to find an okay-ish fight here, even if this is maybe not the sort of way in which you expect the Adepts to succeed, and I guess this is why. Now, as everything else gathers together, you see the Adepts absolutely not succeeding at all. This is where they run into trouble for sure, and they run into a much worse position than what they were in previously. Just see the Adepts coming around once again. But yeah, they can't really get anywhere. Not for now, as Ling Ravager continues on up. The last still coming through as well, so we bring all of that into play. Well, establishing for the next stage of this as we just see the Prism moving back through into the main. There is a Overlord going down, and Dog will get supply box. Still only 34 drones. Dog's army supply is being good, but his own economy slow and low. And obviously part of that is the fact that, yes, you're playing that economy with a gold base, so it helps, but the gold base doesn't last forever. At some point here, Dog will have to drone up a little bit himself, otherwise MaxPax is also not in a bad position to just sit back and play off of 3 bases. I don't think Dog is going to sit back and build eco, because you can see this attack is coming through, so he just wants to absolutely send it right here and now. So he'll do exactly that. In we go. Corrosive Biles coming down initially, the Nexus getting set. Now we're going to see that Nexus going down, so that's going to be a cancel straight away. The Ravager still pressing forwards here as well. So we continue through with this all, and we just have a few more Adepts getting warped in. The Adepts are going to threaten the shade on top. If they can get on top of Ravagers, they might do okay. Does MaxPax have enough to hold on? The army supply with Dark is still good. Obviously, you got the Prism and the Immortal Micro to help you out as well, so a couple different ways in which this helps you. The Immortal still microing around. It's pretty close, but I think Dark overall just has a little bit too much, actually. I think that is becoming a problem overall indeed. As you see the Immortals. I mean, the Mals might still survive a while, though, and again, in low supply and lower supply numbers, these Immortals with micro do really scale very well. So that's where this game might still be holdable. The third Immortal shows up. That's just going to sit in the natural. Prism can't obviously take both all 3 Immortals at once, but yeah, that can still sit around and maybe be impactful, so join in with a bit more damage. The Adepts still trying to hold the front. These Ravagers dealing damage. The Adepts are important. You need a way to clean up the Lings to get through to the Ravagers. And as it's only a 20 army supply difference, now I kind of really believe in this army of MaxPax. And I really feel like his army is set up decently enough to make this work. Lings and Ravagers continue to bust through. We continue to hit at the front here. So going to see a few more Zealots getting warped in. Immortals are there, pushing the Ravager Ling away. Extra Roaches coming through as well. Roach speed also coming up. As you just see that Prism loading up a couple of units, and away they go off over towards the natural. A hold from MaxPax, and I gotta say an impressive one, because that was not easy, and he really came down to, again, those Immortals surviving. But it was important that he used the Immortals throughout, because if he hadn't used them up until that point, I think he would have never had the chance to show us a way of surviving there at all. So, like I say, just genuinely well played, I think, through and through on that one by MaxPax. And what a hold it is. Now, obviously, work accounts. Dark has had to start drone. He has had to start saturating the natural expansion. The gold will be starting to run dry here, 9.5 minutes deep in the game. And MaxPax can even harass with a couple of Immortals in the Prism. He's going to recall out. He says, okay, the opportunity isn't there. He's getting a Dark Shrine up as well. I mean, how can you not love it from MaxPax after holding this off? His tech really is there. His opponent's tech was much more delayed. The Roach Speed and the Spire coming through, but obviously kind of feels as though they're a little bit of like, oh, well, let's just try and see if we can find some kind of a way to make something happen, rather than really being full of confidence that there is a way to make something happen. I feel like that's a pretty interesting depiction between the two for the moment. Well, first meters coming out. There's an observer there. 4DT's morphing in, and are we going to go and harass with these? Yes, we are going to send those forwards. We do not have spore crawlers in the game. We have one spore in the game, which is up to this top side. There is one overseer as well. The DT is just going to run in, but I mean, like I said, that's the location with the one spore. That is now dead. DTs could go on the gold base. Zealots hit the natural at the same time, and obviously you're pretty spread out here. However, here are the mutalisks. There's only a couple of them, so they won't do damage quickly, but it will still be damage onto this army that currently MaxPax cannot stop. However, he's dealing a lot of damage too. 17 drones are down. The Zealots and the natural are absolutely shredding, and these immortals will trade out with these roaches. While they will fall, it is at least big damage done. But no, MaxPax is going to say GG. He doesn't think he can hold on if Dog goes across the map. As I say, I think he did enough to at least survive. Obviously, the muta count's going to be interesting, but there's only 3 mutas. I guess there's also only 5 zealots left, though, so Dog is actually going to make it happen. MaxPax does not believe that he can hold on. He has a lot of money in the bank. Yeah, be afraid of further counterattacks, right? Of further units showing up. So Dog, if he sets up defensively for a moment, might give MaxPax a chance. I think that's where I kind of believe. That's why I'm surprised to see the GG in that moment, you know? So, yeah. In the bottom left, down 1 game is going to be our blue Protoss player. This is MaxPax. Taking on the red Zerg in the top right, this is going to be Dark. I think it's one of those moments where, like, again, I think if you watch it for 15 more seconds, the game probably ends. Just first you got, like I say, first you got to see the game. Like, yeah, kind of comes down to what the players are feeling. Alrighty, get this underway. Game number 2. Sorry for the delays, guys. Sorry, we had something going on the other screen as well. I just have to sort out. Jump on Indy's camera here, as we do actually have a drone across the map trying to hatchery block. Apologies. I'm just going to be seeing the couple of probes. We're just going to hatchery block. That's this hatchery will not come through, and Donk will be denied that idea. This drone will continue into the main base and just try and be a little annoying for a couple of moments. I think it's also very, like, so here's the funny thing. I feel like in the moment, I was like, well, it felt very good for MaxPax. I was like, well, he is at least trading out with the Immortals. He's done damage to the drone lines. But again, when you stop and look, you're like, well, actually, what does he have behind this? Nothing. So I got very caught up in the MaxPax hype of the moment, where I was like, well, actually, I think he's doing enough. It was just a bit of a sudden, like, boom moment, wasn't it? Alrighty, game number 2. MaxPax and Dark leads by a map. Trying to see if we can bring it back. As Link Speed starts and a couple queens on the way. Stargate already building on the side of MaxPax. So we get that Stargate coming through. We got the Adept coming up. The Warp Gate is starting. The Adept begins to make its way out to the front, just moving forwards into the center of the map and to the upper right-hand side in general here. So away we go with that for now. As the Link Speed will come on through. When's Heroes Marines match? Hero Marine and Cure will play as the series after this, guys. So Hero Marine Cure coming up after this, and then the winner of that plays Hero. Our last 2 best of 5s of StarCraft today. We also have the Zero Space Winter Bash later today, $10,000 Zero Space tournament right here on the channel. Me, Nathanius, and Kat's going to be bringing you guys the action from that one. Going to be fun. Looking forward to it. That'll be in a few hours' time. I think that starts in like 3.5 hours' time. It was set up in such a way that it was meant to start like when our tournament ended, but we've been going pretty quickly today, so would not be against a couple of these matches maybe starting to take a little bit longer. All lines heading down the bottom right, so heading down to the south for a couple of moments. Oracle coming up, Warp Gate coming through. We just have ourselves the full of additional probes in production as well. Lings coming around, obviously not going to see too much there. Let's have the single Void Ray going to go and knock down an Overlord in the center as well. It's just a little bit of clearing up, a little bit of position taken, vision being denied. Does this tournament finish today? No. We'll have the final 6 series will take place tomorrow. So today we have this series, Hero Marine Cure, and the winner versus Hero. And then tomorrow we'll have the rest of the tournament starting in the lower bracket and just running through match by match. 6 matches, 5 best of 5s and a best of 7 with a 1-0 lead to declare who is the WardiTV 2023 champion. This winner bracket is very important too, you know, especially between these two right now. The winner of this plays Gumiho in the winner bracket finals. Well, I honestly, no offense to Gumiho, but I favor either MaxPax or Dark against him, so good chance for the winner of this to get into that grand final via the winner bracket, and that means you start with a 1-0 lead in the best of 7. That is a pretty big deal as well, for sure. As this Void Ray knocks down an initial creep tumor, and we have these couple of Adepts harassing around looking for some drones on this side. The Lings will find themselves some opportunities to shoot about, get some damage done, and clean up those Adepts. 2 drones go down, though, is obviously pretty decent. Still, I mean, you get rid of a couple of workers, you slow Dark that a little bit early. Going into the charge follow-up here, MaxPax, so he is mixing it up, absolutely. As the, obviously last game we didn't see a Stargate at all, but we saw a lot of Blink play from Hero earlier. MaxPax going to play some charge now and try and be aggressive into what is a melee upgrade. Scary playing against the charge when you don't have roaches, but at least Banelings can be something of an aid to you, so definitely will be pretty reliant on Banelings to help you out here. As that Hydra Den is coming up as well. Temple Archive still coming through. Extra gates coming around. Prism in the charge. Continuing up as the Sentry nibbles at a Zerglin for a couple of moments. Well, Hydra Den comes through from Dark as well, so he gets to go straight there. Obviously, if MaxPax doesn't get immediately super aggressive or anything, then this should be kind of fine. Let's see, High Templars continuing up, the charge on the way, +1 attack coming through as well. More Hydras building, the melee upgrade and Groove Spines continuing out also. As you just see, again, charge and +1 continue to come about. So we get that going. Zerglin still heading into the center of the map. The Archons are chasing as well, just going to go after those Zerglins. A couple more High Templar warp in. They'll morph into an Archon too. The Zealots setting up over here, ready to go pressing forwards. And across we go. Just have this army getting set. Again, Lings and Hydras coming through, the melee upgrade coming by. So here's this push, but with Hydras out, I feel like the DPS is too much to really bust through this. Those Hydras came out just when they needed to make sure that this army could not go further forward, could not get too much done. So I'll say credit to MaxPax, to Dark on that one, because he got the units out in time, but credit to MaxPax because he also pulls back at the right timing as well, so he's able to do well there. As we do have the Robo Bay and facility on the way up, so we get an idea of what the next stage of this game is going to look like. That Robotech is going to be a big part of it. Fully expecting to see Colossi. Obviously, if you're playing Charge Lots, Disruptors are kind of a messy unit to use because, well, you're gonna clip your Charge Lots with those Disruptor shot slots. So probably Colossi to create a fairly stable kind of splash damage baseline in this army from here on out, and then working forwards from there. There's a bit of Ling Hydra Lurker moves around the upper left. Some Hydras run around over to the right. A couple Zealots just chilling out as well. Prism. How's it so? The Zealots inside and waiting for its opportunity to again show a little bit of love. Some direction. See our Hydras still moving around. The Archons are going to be nearby. This one's obviously just stopping some of the Lings, but not too many. And this attack from Dark getting set up. We're going to have a big wraparound in this army of the Protoss in a moment. We're not careful. MaxPax is currently going to have to run to the upper left, where a bunch of Banelings are going to suddenly get their speed. Now the probes have to start pulling away, and they will just about start to get out of there just before this becomes too problematic, I think. It's actually only 12 probes going down. However, this base is also under fire. Dark showing up on the right side at the same time is absolutely delivering. Nexus will fall. A few other units coming up as well. Well, that base going down is huge. Like I said, I think MaxPax only losing 16 workers was not the bad part of this. It was obviously losing the base. However, the army supply of MaxPax is very good against what Dark has. And I do worry for Dark a little bit. If MaxPax just wanders across the map, what Dark is then going to do, you see those Zealots already charging forward a little bit as well, so they're going to go jump on top of these units too. Ling's going to counter once again, trying to make it difficult. Ling's coming about, just going to be seeing a couple of Colossi going through, extended thermal lance, +2 attack upgrade. Ling's into the main base. I love the chaos that Dark's trying to cause. He knows fine well that MaxPax's army has a good counterattack opportunity right now, and he is just going to do absolutely everything he can to ensure that MaxPax does not see that opportunity as something he can make use of, because these counterattacks are going to keep him held back. Now, during this time, Dark is not exactly improving his army too massively. I'm a little bit worried in that regard, I suppose. I mean, Lurkaden's on the way, so we do have an upgrade to his army coming, but it's not there yet, so all this harassment has been great for now. MaxPax still has, I think, a minute or so to take a fight across the map. And if he actually manages to chase and follow through with this chase this time around, then I think he's going to be in a potentially very good position. We will see. And the few units in the bottom right making their way about. We just have ourselves the few Lings, the few drones gathering together. Two High Templars and Zealots continue to come in. Things get there. Paladin gets picked off. Just going to see the rest of these Zealots and Archons coming over. Colossi too. Also going to make their way over here. Just going to see those Lings trying to get a wrap around, and Colossus actually going to be in a bunch of trouble. Two Colossus go down. MaxPax not going to succeed on this attempted attack. We kind of said he had to get across and do something, but that was just half the army. And Dark jumps on half of it, and that's going to make his army look way better. Archons, Colossi, the Zealots set to go again, but obviously now with only portions of the army compared to what it should have been. Does MaxPax really have a chance? Plus, Lurkers are out. No fourth base behind this. He kind of just has to send it. A few Zealots try and walk their way around the right side. A Zealot drop into the main base as well. Setting up for MaxPax as we speak, so we get all of that on the go. Zealots charging forwards, a couple Queens going down, Lurkers will get popped there as well, so a few of those Lurkers getting dropped. Ling Hydra still going through, and MaxPax is still pushing forwards. His army supply is still fairly even, trying to defend at home at the same time. Disruptor Shot will not be good to defend themselves. 22 drones dead, MaxPax still with a little bit of hope. The problem for me is the fact he has to walk into the Lurkers, and he started to do that right there. There's still those counterattacks going on, but we both break through the Lurkers. Now just Hydras. These two Colossi in the back are such a big deal. Their splash has got so much potential against these Hydras. Drones are getting set to pull into this. Lings from the other side. One Colossus falls. Colossus number 2 goes down. This is where MaxPax's army will be cleaned up. That's where the difference will be made. Just what a game between these two. It's been a bit chaotic. It's been a bit hectic. There's been fights you don't typically see. It's been a bit of a wild time for sure. As Adrenal Gland's going to finish, the Adaptive Talons is about to be done as well. Queens and Lings still coming up. A couple of additional drones on the way here from Dark as well. Christopher S1, thank you so much for the 7-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. As we have our +3 missiles coming about. We got our Zealots ready to go. A couple Lings going to go nibbling. This army still looking back down to the bottom. MaxPax going to try and relocate a little bit. Things run through. A couple Zealots going to get jumped on. Just going to be seeing the Zealots going to try and stand and fight back. These Lings taking quite a lot of damage. 2 probes going down. Extra Lurkers coming up. +3 missiles coming in. Well, somehow this game is not quite done yet, huh? As yo, Chili McBilly, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Now this army going to push up here. Lurker's going to fire. First Zealot's taking damage. Those 3 missiles coming up. The Vipers are coming through. This Hydra's coming around as well, so continue to move around with that for the moment. Things trying to run by. We've got Zealots in the main base. MaxPax has still got armies on multiple fronts. Obviously, he's never really gone back onto the 4th. He's trying to take it now, see if he can actually get there or not, but unable to at the moment. The Archons and so on coming by. The Lynx is going to grab a pylon. Maxes take some damage as well. A couple of disruptors still come by. I mean, it kind of feels like we need some disruptors across the map to break into these lurker lines, just to start chipping their way through them. Otherwise, I feel like trying to dart up into these positions is not really going to go well for you. +3 missiles, +3 melee. All being brought up as well. Hobbs just chilling. Again, +3 missiles about to be done. Extra Lings and Hydras coming through. Archons and Disruptors are building. You see another Zealot warping in as well. Still got Lings making their way all the way down through that 6 o'clock position. A couple of Disruptors are going to go make their way forward as well. Disruptor shots go kaboom. A couple of Lurkers get picked off. Zealot Archon still gathering together. We have ourselves the Lurkers and the +3 melee coming through. And Lurkers moving forwards here. The Zealots coming about. Lurker shots flying forwards. Viper's going to get a couple of abducts going as well. So if Lurkers continue forwards, just going to see that Archon's going to grab an Overseer. Dark makes his way all the way out down to the bottom side of the map. Well, still trying to push forward. A couple of Disruptors will fire and we get rid of one more Lurker. But in the end, MaxPax just says GG's. He can't break through this with enough power. And Dark is going to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 corner of the map. Where we have the Protoss, who is down and trying to turn it around. This is MaxPax. Bottom left, our red Zerg is going to be Dark. Drops the GL. Here for game number 3. And he drops the 12 pool. Dark. He's like, good luck against my cherries. Solaris, units can come across the map quickly and hit very quickly because of the acceleration zone. So fast 12 pool could be a way to get some damage done. We're going to bring this drone down. This is the idea of faking out what's actually going on. So trying to be like, oh, look, I'm trying to take and expand. And oh, no, I've got to go build my 3rd hatchery. And in reality, we're going across the map. And we're going to use that drone to maybe help with this 12 pool process. MaxPax needs to move this probe from the low ground to the high ground soon, realize that this is a 12 pool, and then get his reaction going. No, he's going to go check for the base. Well, he's not going to see this one. When he checks the other, he's going to realize what this is, but it's a slower scout than if he'd just gone up into the main. The drone across the map is going to show itself, and now MaxPax is going to know. So just as he scouts where the 3rd is going to be, the hatchery goes down anyways. It's going to stop you from fully walling off here. More Lings coming across, the probe coming through, more Lings coming about as well. As the Zealot comes in, and again, we're just going to be seeing the extra units coming through. Trying to get this wall up for the moment. That hatchery is still being nibbled at by a probe. The other probes are going to pull forward. And again, a couple of Lings continue to come by as well. Oh, Lings come across, going to start nibbling on the gateway. That's the power of this hatchery. Now you do not have a way to stop this nibbling on the gateway going down, so you can't stop that from being a part of this, and hence you just have to kind of watch your gateway in the process of dying. So this hatchery getting low, but this gateway is 100% going to die, right? I mean, we chrono boost to guarantee Zealot number 2 comes out. The Lings will have access in. Ooh, we couldn't actually quite see for a moment. There's the gateway blew up, but the Lings decide not to commit. They're going to pull back. Lings move up into the main base, just going to be going after some of those probes as well. Again, a couple hatcheries, the field zergling is still in production here for a couple moments. A couple other probes nibbling at the hatch as well. So it's going around, and we just have ourselves the single zergling trying to nibble at a probie as well. And extra lings coming up. Queen on the way. Warp gate coming through. Those lings going to aim for this main mineral line. Oh, ling's going to try and wrap around. A couple of Zell's going to get pushed back. Our probes as well, getting shoved away. And we see now extra lings coming by still. We got a spine crawl and the overlord still coming up also. Obviously, this is still getting a little bit chaotic as these lings utilizing the creep spread to have a little bit of a faster move forward, trying to jump on some of these adepts. 5 probes have gone down thus far. We actually do have a spine crawler building here as well, as MaxPax really in a bit of trouble. Dog obviously believing he can push through this position, he can capitalize on this. Is it really going to be enough? I mean, overall, his supply is not great. He has work to be done if he wants to be in an okay spot here. I'm not sure this spine crawler is going to be like the magic solution of, aha, now I'm just super strong and unbreakable. I mean, obviously he's going to try and use it, but I mean, to be fair, what does kill a spine crawler right now? Not much. MaxPax does not exactly have like a tech structure up that's going to be magicking out an immortal or something. You know, if he did, then brilliant, then this really wouldn't be all that great. Just going to pick our way through the battery. As we obviously have the adept there as well, we can chip through obviously the battery out of energy, so no rush to get rid of that. Warp gate's going to finish either way here. MaxPax will send 2 adepts forwards just to try and help out. Again, it's the spine crawler that's the biggest issue of all. The spine is causing problems that nothing else that nothing else can really do. So the investment into the spine was very funky, but it's kind of working out. And MaxPax only on 8 army supply to the 17 as the lings are out and about. No ling speed, but they actually do catch an adept out in the middle of the map as well. My goodness, because this game is just not crazy enough as it stands. We got to have a little bit more of the crazies adding into it, apparently. Our adepts continue to go back down the bottom left-hand side. Meanwhile, the lings are breaking into the main. We're trying to get towards glaives here. A couple more adepts coming through. A couple drones going to get picked away at. We do have the spine crawler finishing up Cybercore at the front as well. And we just have Resonating Glaive still building. Pylon the Cybercore coming through. The couple more spines are building as well. A few more spines building right now. The drone's still in production, and 2 adepts going to shade up into the main. A couple of adepts will can go after the drone for a moment. A few more lings pulling by. We've seen the lings still trying to get the surround. Spines, drones still coming through. Resonating Glaives coming up as well. I mean, this is obviously a weird push, as now spines are in the main base of MaxPax. I think the funkiest part of this is that it never started out with the intention of being a spine rush, right? This started out as a 12 pool, the hatchery finishes, just the way it plays out kind of allowed Dog to do this. And now you've got triple spine crawler picking through a gateway. We still just have never had anything that can deal with these. Now I'm going to start Dog Shrine even, as MaxPax I think is also just in the process of figuring out, well, what does deal with these spine crawlers quickly, effectively? Well, DTs absolutely would if there's no detection here. The Stalkers are slowly getting through one of them as well. Progress slowly being made against this setup. Man still firing up. A few more shots going down. Do you have the Stalkers going to chase this spine crawl all the way down to the low ground, in fact. Rotron still coming through there as well. The Extractor also in production. And Dark Shrine's about halfway done, as our Stalkers will go after the Overlord. Going to try and nab that. Again, Rotron coming through also. Seeing these few adepts continue to trade it for the moment, just trying to get some extra done. Well, lings continue down to the bottom side. MaxPax overall still ahead on supply again without the spines. I feel as though Dark's position is not as good as it once was. We're going to try and target down this spine crawler. As it finishes up, it will get 1 shot off, maybe 3 or so overall, but I think that's not going to be enough. And that's going to be GG's MaxPax is going to bring this one back, and he is going to not let Dark get a 3-0. So MaxPax will stand tall in the winner's bracket. He resumes in the top left, still on match point. Will be our red Berserk player. This is Dark. So against the blue Protoss in the lower right, it is MaxPax. Thank you again for joining us today. Join us for some of our action here in the WardiTV 2023 Championship. Actually goes down onto the low ground. Just going to be seeing Dark going to proxy that and hatchery block a little bit. Terminator, mate. How you doing? Thank you so much for the 78-month resub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. As you see, our probes getting straight onto this hatchery, getting going immediately. I'm just going to start trying to deal some damage there. Well, so just trying to clean this up. There's a responsible approach when dealing with an attack like this, or a setup like this. You basically are just saying, cool, I'm just going to make sure that this does not get up and online. Yes, it costs me some probes, but you also invest in the money into the hatch. That is money that you're not spending elsewhere during this time, so you're okay with pulling the probes against it. There's a reason Zergs don't do this all the time, because Protoss kind of figured out the ways to respond to this. A lot of this has kind of thrown Protoss off their build. Nowadays, Protoss have pretty responsible ways to handle it, so their builds don't get thrown off too much, but Darks are liking to mix it in here and there, trying to just, again, I feel like just the idea of anything that causes chaos for Dark throughout a series, he's like, cool, I'm going to latch onto that, I love that idea, let's play with that idea, you know? Depth continues through, continues to go to the upper left side of the map, just scouting by for the moment. Things are coming up again, a couple of Lings and the Queen's on the way out. Stargate and a Nexus building here as the Adept continues through. Warpgate is producing, and everything on the way as the single Adept chilling out down on the low ground for a couple of moments. Lings, drones joining on up together. Now Stargate coming through as well. A couple of Adepts going to go shading by. And it's going to be 2 drones already going down. That's going to be 3, in fact. So, really good catch on those. The Adept's actually going to recall out as well. So, 3 drones, no Adept losses. Really good trade out, actually. That's going to really put you into a nice prime position. As a couple of Adepts continue by there. Getting into position once again. Just seeing our Oracle coming through with the Warp Gate also in production about halfway through for the moment. Link speed is over halfway done as well. So, link speed continues into position with the drone count increasing, the Oracle still producing. All of that continues in for now. Oracle moves onto the map. A couple of Adepts go shading to the upper left-hand side. Yeah, we just make our move with these. Seeing where we can go, see what we can get done. We're going to get rid of a little creep tumor there, which is nice, so a nice little bonus. Any bit of creep you're getting rid of is generally a big positive as our Oracles activate. A few Lings taking damage. Just seeing our Nexus coming through as well, so continue with all of that. Again, Queens, Ovies, a couple more Lings coming by. Spore Crawlers building up. And our Nexus over halfway done currently. Our Oracle still building. More probes coming through. As, yeah, we get a grab. A little cancel on the battery. Oracle's activating again. Just gonna see a few of those lings getting picked away at as well. Oracle's gonna activate again for some of these drones. Just some more damage being dealt. And we get 2 drones so far. Still, the Oracle's just pulling back down the left-hand side, so away they go. And just escaping away for a couple moments. Well, these Oracles will keep active. We do see the blink starting. Of course, MaxPax is playing with his tournament life on the line. Good start, obviously. Good damage done. Again, with these 2 adepts, going to find a few more drones again. So MaxPax is able to get 3 more workers. And a handful of lings, most likely, before this is a cleanup with the queens here. Especially, I think this goes down no matter what. That link is already coming up about halfway done as well. And a couple queens are just going to be there, pushing the Oracle back a little further. Just one blink, continuing on by. Well, again, that Oracle gets chased away to the right side. You see the melee upgrade coming through the lair building. Totally not a pylon. Thank you so much for the 32-month resub on the Prime. Love you too, mate. Thank you so much for the resub. Appreciate the support. Things go out around the left. We see the Oracles activating after some creep tumors as well. Again, blink on the way up. A couple more gateways coming through. Get everything settled here as our lings run around. We're going to attack our own creep tumor. I don't think that was intentional, honestly. Imagine that was just a misclick, just trying to A-click them somewhere. And then not realizing. Once Stalkers start to show up, they will begin to put some pressure in. As we do see lings looking for the wraparound, but the stasis ward is beautiful. And the way the lings get stasis kind of creates a wall for these Stalkers that makes the rest of the lings tougher to find an opportunity on. The Stalkers commit towards the queens. Oracles can activate here, clear up some of the lings from the back. Now we blink away. Again, that Oracle support unit is necessary to keep those Stalkers alive against that amount of lings typically, and we very much saw that in play there. Robo Bay, Nexus continue through. The charge is coming up. +1 attack is about to be done. You have a Stalker still working up the left-hand side. Stalkers take a little bit of a fight once more. We engage through here, and we just see our lings obviously being chased back across the other direction, so they're going to go over there. Lings head down at the bottom. A couple more adepts is going to get walked through. And Robo Bay about to finish. The Nexus is about to be done. And the rest of these lings still trying to chase on forward. Stalkers in position to push the lings back. The Oracle going to drop a revelation as we go as well. Is about halfway done. The extra lings coming through, +2 melee, and the carapace upgrade coming in also. We have our Stalkers still pushing about. The lings continue over to the right side. Oracle still activating, a few more lings being picked away at. Stalkers still taking some hits, and we see the Zerglings continue to come through. +2 melee, +1 carapace. Both continuing into production again. Still got that Colossus coming up as well. The +2 extended thermal lance and the charge on the way in. Things run by. The Zeld's already taking damage. Our Stalkers come across. Also going to try and get themselves a little bit of help right here. Our Stalkers and Oracles go back over to the edges. +2 melee, +1 carapace, adrenal glands all coming up. Our lings going to get shoved away towards the natural, and our Stalkers continue to push across just for the moment as well. Well, MaxPax defending nicely, not letting Dark take too many steps back in this. As MaxPax has also flown a bit of cash, though, some money to be spent. Can you imagine if we spent it, the lead it would have would be even more substantial than it currently sits at. So something to absolutely look at there. Just don't let yourself get too carried away. Don't let those mistakes come through too heavily. Keep control of this as we do see lings continuing up to the top. Trying to see what they can do. He's coming over. The Colossi shots continuing through. It's going to have a few more shots going by. And again, the Adrenal Glands plus 2 melee. Ultra Scavenge coming in. Another Ultra on the way up with 30 more Zerglings also in production right now. So we get a little bit of everything just on the go here. And with Kindness playing on the way up and plus 3 melee starting, we also see that Adrenal Glands coming through in the Prism. Continues up to the top side with a few Zealots in it as well. Also looking for options, looking for chances. Trying to make something happen. There's that Dark Shrine and Templar Archives. Continue in. The Spore Crawler is going to get a few shots off on the Prism as well. And the Lings taking a few hits as they make some moves. On top of everything else. Well, our Vipers will make their way into the road to the rest of this army now. We do have Storm on the way, so we should have High Templar. Feedbacks should be available, so that's potentially going to be one of the big things we've got to watch for in these upcoming fights. Can we feedback those Vipers? Can we stop them from, successfully getting their spellcasts off? Because they could dictate the results of these engagements. They are such a powerful unit. Spellcasters are absolutely imperative to have in your army at this stage, as we are going to see one abduct immediately, and this Colossus does survive, though. We get back over, picking away at those Lings. To be fair, that was only a group of Lings. It's kind of an interesting place to have a Viper in the first place, as Ling Ultra moves around to the bottom. I know it's just basically Lings, but it's kind of interesting, like, if you're going to have the Vipers, I would imagine there would have been a lot more Lings to actually stand and kind of take more of a fight. This really is just mass Lings right now from Dark, and as he mass Lings his way across the map, this is where I think MaxPax just needs to be calm and collect and say, cool, just get my splash damage up. The more splash damage I get into here, the better a position I'm going to be in. He does lose a 4th base, however. And again, with all those Lings, that is one thing that will forever be an issue, right? Getting a 4th base up is going to be very tough against what can essentially be an endless amount of run-bys from the Zerg. Now, I guess it is funny because, like I say, the abduct when you've only got Lings feels bad, but then when you've only got Lings, then what else are you meant to do? I guess, like I say, abducting them deep and making sure those units can't fire as much is a big deal anyway. Again, once the Ultras get there, like the abducts a little more. Obviously, the number of Lings dead. 365 so far in this game, but obviously the way Dark is playing, that could increase a lot as MaxPax comes pushing up to the top. I honestly feel in a consolidated effort, I just don't see how the mass Ling does it. The DT's going to try and be a little busy over on this side. It's 106 Lings, and again, just a handful of Ultras to try and help us along the way here. I find it very hard to be a believer. I really do find it very hard to be a believer in this. MaxPax takes down one base immediately, and like I say, I think that's a lot of what we're going to continue to see. The last few Zealots getting cleaned up. MaxPax has some more money to spend. I mean, whenever Lings run into this army, it's going to look miserable. Obviously, that was maybe a mistake. The Lings will cause chaos. They will counterattack, but if you can stay very good defensively as MaxPax, the rest of this doesn't matter. He's got nothing on this 3rd base, though. A couple of Archons moving across from the 4th. So far, 8, 9 workers going down. Stupid Battery might need to get on the Nexus. Nexus will fall here. Again, it's going to cost you a lot of Zerglings, but if you can keep knocking down MaxPax's bases, eventually you might be able to just outmass him in the game, right? You might just be able to kind of outlast him, because he's going to not have the economy he needs. And like I say, that's what these Lings and this heavy Ling counter can do. It can cause chaos, it can cause trouble, it can push you into some positions and some situations you don't really typically expect to be in. And obviously playing in the unknown is scary, right? Like, it absolutely makes it feel very difficult than playing your normal game. The Queens will have a second abduct to help guarantee the death of the Warp Prism. The Prism will go down. Plus 3 armor still coming up, a couple more Ultras are still coming through. Colossi and Archons will be able to push that back. We do see the DT still building up. Ultras coming through. I'm just going to see the Stalkers and the Archons there to push the Ultras back over that left-hand side. Ling's going to run by, just going to move upwards. We do have another Stalker warping in. Ultra gets picked off right there. The rest of this getting settled. MaxPax is maxed out. And again, for him, I really feel as though it's just been this constant case of just be patient, get everything together, and just find a way to attack without dying to run-bys and counterattacks, essentially, right? Again, in a straight-up fight, I just do not see how you win this. Well, Stalkers coming around. Here are the Ultras. They are really the only chance you have of truly fighting this, right? Is arguably, it's funny, like MaxPax kind of needs more Immortals maybe to deal with these Ultras, but Immortals don't help against all the Lings, which have been a problem as well. Stalkers, Archons, the Colossi coming through. Just going to be seeing the rest of this coming across. And here we go. Ultras from a couple of different directions, man. The Stalkers should absolutely nuke these Ultras. Again, if they don't have to worry about Lings, there should be no problem. The composition here from Dark is not good enough. And that is MaxPax taking it to a game number 5. After Dark reverse, we have in the top left-hand side. The red Zerg player was up 2-0. It's slipping away from him. It's Dark in the top left corner. Sleepy Dinosaur 69, thank you so much for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Thank you for the tournament. Thank you so much for supporting. We can't make these events without your guys' support. WardiTV tournaments, their prize pools are frequently made up of money from you guys subscribing. MaxPax, Blue Protoss in the bottom right-hand corner as well. We also had an injection of money into this event by Crate Entertainment! !Crate in the chat. You can find out more. They're the makers of Grim Dawn, an awesome game you should check out, and other games as well. You guys can check that out more on their Steam page. So they just dropped the link in the chat. They just love RTS. They said they would love to see more RTS competitions, and they supported our championship here to allow us to pay out all $15,000 prize money all the way down to 30 players in this contest. So everyone that entered this event walks away with some cash money, which is amazing. Again, thank you so much for just helping push it a little bit further, making this the biggest WardiTV tournament ever. So thank you so much to those guys. Again, we really appreciate it. We have an Overlord of Dark. Beginning to move down to the bottom right side of the map. That early game here. Well, there's apparently just this Overlord Scout, and that's what everyone else is following too, so an Overlord Scout to start us off. I mean, not too much else to be wondering about here anyways, so nothing too surprising just yet. Hatch gas in the pool, all coming in. As you see, a drone moving over to the third base. And yeah, Cybercore, Nexus going through a little bit as well. Probe continuing into action. Just for now. And yeah, those couple drones continue across. And we get this all set up. Link Speed coming through, a couple Queens coming in. The Overlord, the drone coming about. Stargate is building as well. And again, those couple Lings just nibbling at that probe for a moment or so. Able to deal some damage, able to push that around. Depth continues to shade around the right side. We do see the Stargate still coming up about halfway done. Depth coming through, the Warp Gate is building. A little bit of everything here just to begin with. We do have a hatchery going down on the natural, as again the Link Speed is on its way. Let's see what the Stargate leads us into, as MaxPax obviously has been a pretty diverse series from both sides in terms of what we see, in terms of what's been going on, and so on and so forth. So, let's see how this all goes. Link's coming about again, nabbing a probe as we go there, so just some little bits of damage being dealt. You do see the Oracle still coming up, the Warp Gate continuing along. The extra drones in production for the moment. And yeah, that gateway is still just continuing into play. We'll wait to see whether this Oracle Adept Harass can do successful things. We've seen a lot of success, obviously, in that previous match. A lot of the early game harassment from MaxPax has been landing the last few games, so absolutely consideration here that these early units could start to dictate where everything else of this goes. And we'll get coming through. The Oracle getting shoved out up to the top. We do see the couple of Adepts coming around there. Again, the Oracle coming up. The Nexus coming by. And more probes on the way in. And the Oracle lands. A few more workers. So able to get a little bit more done right there. Meanwhile, the Simulators continue up as well. And as the Simulators continue up, we see the couple of Queens firing up on the Adepts. The other drones coming through as well. 7 drones going down. Just for the moment. Oracle activates, and again, even more work is being picked away at. Well, we asked whether we'd see MaxPax be able to do a lot early. We get an answer. Yeah, he's going to do a crap ton of damage. That's going to be extremely problematic for Dark. Falling much further behind in these early stages than he would have liked. There's just zero doubts about that in my mind. I mean, that's really bad damage, and pretty early as well in the game. This is not like 7 minutes or something where it's like, okay, the Oracle's got back through for a few shots, the Adepts showed up out of nowhere. This really is just the phase where the Oracles and Adepts are looking for worky damage like that to establish a lead, to establish control of the game. I would say that so far, MaxPax is going to get it. These couple of Oracles move through, the Queens are going to activate. Oracles will take some damage. We do see, again, a couple of drones going down in the process so far. Blink is still on the way. Again, Blinking +1 coming up. A few more probes coming about. Hydrogen and the Evo Chamber building up on the other side. And that is just going to be Dark trying to rush into those Hydras. So we've definitely seen Dark trying to play with a few different styles here throughout the course of these games. It's been very fun to witness. And +1 and Blink both coming up. Seeing our Robo Facility coming through. The extra couple of gates coming about as well. +1 attack upgrade also in production. Dives in for a little bit of creep spread, so going to get a creep tumor there. Back up the right-hand side as well. And again, just away we go. As we see this hatchery getting set. Top corner. The Blink is about to be finishing. The +1 attack's halfway done. Again, we keep that going. Again, Observer coming up. The Forge coming through here. MaxPax is just ready to take a 4th base. He's got no issues at all. He's just like, cool, 4th base, +1 on Blink going to be done. I can start harassing. And Dark has got himself a challenge ahead, playing against these Stalkers now. He's got Hydras and he's got Lings. He's got the units to deal with it, but he really can't afford to let slip and to let this start doing more than it should be able to, right? The moment that starts happening here, the moment you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Stalkers do trade. We'll see, just kind of being able to trade off creep is kind of amazing. I'm kind of surprised Dark is trying to fight this from so far away. I understand he doesn't want to... I mean, I guess it's because he doesn't have a lot of creep spread, right? So he doesn't really want to just fall back and let the Protoss under creep, which is basically on top of his base. But at the same time, if you're not going to do that, then I think it's fair to say I'm a little bit concerned as to where we really take this all said and done. Robovator coming up, a couple gates coming by. The Nexus coming through. We are going to be seeing these Stalkers blinking back a little bit. Trying to get away from those Queens. Hydra's still going to show up here, and they're still going to push away on the Stalkers. The Stalkers will take a bit more damage, and as the Stalkers take some hits, we'll also see a group of additional units warping in. Zealots over to the natural expansions. They're going to come by. They're going to take some shots as well. Some damage being done there at the moment. 5 more drones going down. The pressure on MaxPax is good, but he's also got money to spend, right? So money to be spent, money to be utilized for the moment. Let's just see how Stalker's fighting. A few Queens taking some shots for a little while. Again, a few Lings wanting to come across here and to try and fight back a little further as well. The Stalkers hanging around again. Disruptor +2 attack. The extra Zealots all underway, so we continue to bring into that as much as we possibly can at the moment. Stalker's still going. We're actually going to push on 4s. There's a Lurker going down. The rest of these Lings are going to start taking some pretty big hits as well. Only one more Spore going down too. I mean, again, you just control this area. Look at all the stasis wards from MaxPax. He is set up in such a great place as our Stalkers will continue to fight. The first Queen's dropping down here already. Going to see another Stasis Ward getting set up on the bottom side. Trying to catch all over the place. Another Disruptor shot fires through. First Hydra going to take a connection as well. The rest of these Zealots continue to fight. More Zealots warp in over on the left-hand side. +2 attack. The Disruptor's on the way. Stalkers and Disruptors continue to come around. And again, it's going to be seeing our Hydras continuing to fight as well. So the trade-out continues for the moment. The Disruptor shot, just going to be seeing it flying a little bit short of that Lurker. Just going to be seeing one Hydra going down. Again, Zealots and a Disruptor, +2 attack coming through. The Hydra still firing, just going to be seeing a few more shots coming about there. And the Stalker's still taking some damage. One more Lurker going down. Another Disruptor shot just going to fire, hits that Spore. The rest of these Disruptors gather up. Stalkers will pull back. The Oracles will sit there to join in. The rest of the Zealots joining together as well. Templar Archive still coming through. The Nexus building. Just going to go after this Spore Crawler right now. So Spore already taking a couple of hits here. Hydras will take some damage. And we continue to look for more at this point in time. Just trying to find as many openings as possible. MaxPax still absolutely controlling this. I mean, yes, Doc's been able to tech up, but MaxPax has been able to add on his tech as he goes as well. And again, these Disruptors are able to keep on chipping away, so it's never been free for Doc to do all of this. And a couple extra Lurkers, just going to come back over the side. And again, the Nidus network is already coming up. Additional Hydras and Lings all coming through as well. We use our +2 armor upgrade. Production now also as Disruptor's fire. Lurker Den. But the Lurker is going to get picked off and still seeing Stalker Disruptor moving back to the middle of the map. Press on in. A couple of Lurkers already going to fire up there. The Stalker's getting pushed back. Disruptor shot lands for the couple of Lurkers as well. Ling's coming over. Still just seeing our +3 missiles coming through. And Ling Hydra all coming up. Extra High Templar on the way. Our Disruptor is about halfway done as the rest of this army of MaxPax still sits towards the northern side of the map here, waiting for an opportunity to get further involved. I mean, again, just looking for chances to disrupt up Lurkers and all the rest of it. That is what we're aiming for at the moment. The Revelation goes down on a couple of those Hydras. This Disruptor shot, okay, gets cancelled. What a time for Doc to stand in there and just to deal the damage, just to try and get that cancel off. That is a big deal. And that +3 missile still firing through. See a few more shots coming out. Just going to be seeing Disruptor shots firing up as well. Disruptor's firing in again. Couple Lurkers are going to get connected onto there. So again, the Disruptor shot is decent. As we take a few moments to again just see MaxPax holding out. There's somewhat of a contain. I mean, we are going to Nidus across the other side. Doc is going to start moving. This is where Doc's going to test the waters on the other side of the map. Finally, he gets a chance to be aggressive. Do we have continued detection here for the Lurkers? Well, we'll worry about that in a moment. Right now, we got to deal with this Hydra Lurker force moving over here. Oh, that Disruptor shot fired from way too far away. As we are going to see MaxPax is in just an odd spot, kind of being held back a little bit. So actually, MaxPax in a bit of a weird one. Not quite where he'd love to be, I don't think, right now. As you see the Lurker shots firing through a couple of those warp gates, the damage being done there. Final lot of hits for the moment as we just see the Nidus finishing up. Another Disruptor shot comes through. We land shy of those Lurkers. Another few shots coming through. Another stasis revelation coming down. Doc absolutely pushing at the moment, pushing through to try and see what he can do. Tempest overhead. Going to see the carriers ready to fire through whatever interceptors they can. We've already lost 25 probes. We're also killing base on the other side as MaxPax. It's not like MaxPax is on just a, a full-on kind of desperate defense. He's also dealing good damage. He's also doing very well for himself. Another carrier about to go down, perhaps. Just going to get pushed away a little bit. Disruptor fires through, hits a couple of those lurkers. Going to look for more right now as well. Trying to find as much as possible here as this base does go down. Huge shutdown overall, I gotta say. I mean, MaxPax is losing control of his production lines and everything, right? So he's kind of got to do something. I mean, Doc, way to just sit back, absorb damage, wait, and wait for your moment to pounce. And when he does pounce, boy, has he made it at least seemingly close. A lot of the money in the bank for MaxPax is unlikely to ever get a chance to play unless MaxPax completely stabilizes here. So Doc has really undone one of the big advantages MaxPax gave himself, which is that bank. So that's a huge deal. Tempest shots coming through. The Overlord's getting chased back. Now Lurker's still moving around. You see our Stalkers and Zealots coming across. So we do have revelations on some of the Lurkers. Disruptor shots will fire looking for these. He misses on the left side. 46 probes dead as we do blink forward. We're going to troop go for what we can. This one Lurker on the left has been, oh my god, missed multiple times. Obviously, sometimes he's not been aiming for it. Other times he's been aiming for the Hydras as well. But it's kind of funny that it went on for so long. A couple more Hydras will drop. The Lurker's still producing through. We do have in the top right. MaxPax, a base still active. He needs production though, right? Look at the money that MaxPax has, and yet you just can't spend any of it. I'm surprised he didn't start rebuilding production much sooner because it's been apparent he was going to lose his main base for a long time. If he'd started building the production sooner, he probably could have done so. Now he's building production in the face of Doc's army. Well, MaxPax needs to pull back, deal with that. I mean, the problem is MaxPax can't do anything quickly. What he's attacking into is a slow-going kind of a scenario, so you don't have a ton of time just to kind of waste when it comes to kind of, if you're not producing. Like, look at all the money Doc is building during this. Oh my god, a couple of Vipers on the way. They're going to be critical when it comes to it, as we are going to see the Lings unable to save, the Zealots unable to save that Nexus on the right side. Surely MaxPax wants to go for that army right here, but he does not make a play for it. Is MaxPax letting this slip in these later stages? It does currently look like it right now. And drone's pulling across, single drone caught in a stasis. The Vipers, the gateways continuing to come through. Everything's still moving up to the top. MaxPax, again, he could have started rebuilding production so much sooner. He really could have done. Like, it was obvious he was losing his main base, even if not initially, but at some stage it was clear. Right? And at some stage he clearly gave up on it too, so to not have even tried to rebuild production elsewhere is such a shame, as he is going to set up pylons and all sorts in this top right. He's going to camp on this location. After being the one camping his opponent's bases all this time, he's going to camp on one of his own bases at the tail end of this game now. Madness ensues here in Game 5 of Doc and MaxPax. They just do not play normal, regular games a lot, apparently. There's a couple extra gates come through. The Forge is coming up. Archon in production as well. We do have this army of MaxPax looking for a push forward, looking for a way into the 12 o'clock position where there is a few lurkers that are just sitting there snug for the moment. Tempest firing. We're just going to be seeing one Oracle getting abducted. Again, extra gates coming up. Any units right now feel good for MaxPax. Just spending that money. The problem is, all this time, Doc has been mining and spending his own money, and that is the deal breaker. That's taken MaxPax so long to be able to start spending his money that Doc has spent more money that he's been mining. What an absolutely sickening situation here in this final map of the series. So much on the line. You win this, you're guaranteed top 3. You lose this, you're top 6 still, but you still have to play against Clem to go even further. That's not easy. That lower bracket is going to be an absolute slog, as we do have units of MaxPax moving around the top. Shadow Stride is on the way up as well, so we bring that DT Blink into play as MaxPax comes pushing through. A little bit of an action starting up here. Disruptors are going to get a bunch of lurkers all at once. The stack there does take some hits. Don't get me wrong, MaxPax's army supply is lacking in comparison to his opponent. I was actually kind of expecting more so the Tempest to be firing a few more shots and kind of playing on these Tempests. It might be slow damage, but at least it's kind of free damage with the Tempest, right? Well, MaxPax kind of feels like he should at least be able to get this base, but there's a couple of abducts, and the Vipers are going to show their ability to come on through, and that is going to be a huge turnaround as we have so much going down right here. That is a lot of units lost. Vipers consuming up, getting that hatchery, bringing the HP off of it, getting that energy back online. MaxPax, I think, is going to struggle to find fights against the Vipers. That's going to be difficult for sure. I mean, again, he's finally spent his bank, by the way, and you can see now that as the bank is spent, again, it just took so long to spend that bank, he was never really able to capitalize on the position. And so here we are, looking as though we may very well have Dark winning this game, and this series in the end anyways. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Lurkers finding all the probes over here as Dark. He really, again, waited so long. He picked his moment, he picked his point to just go across the map, to commit through and to send it. And boy, was that a hell of a moment to pick indeed. He got right in position. MaxPax couldn't seemingly stop him for life. No, I love the money. And yeah, right now we got Overseer still around, so able to detect those DTs. MaxPax's army still going to try and find something as the Disruptor gets abducted forwards. The Disruptor's currently surviving, but as we get back to the Lurkers, it's going to be tougher for MaxPax, who drops below 50 army supply, and Dark is going to take Game 5. A grueling final map, but he gets it done, and Dark is going to